What is up guys, it's your boy Solam here, back with another Classic WoW video. Today we are once again reacting to a Classic Plus video talking about all of the leaks that have popped up for Classic Plus that are supposedly happening at BlizzCon this year. So we have some leaks that are most likely fake, but there's a video talking about them, what could be real, what could be fake, and just discussing the leaks we have so far, and how all of these leaks, they pretty much have one thing in common. And that is the fact that Classic Plus is coming, and the more you try to dive into this topic, the more it looks like Classic Plus is coming, and I would not be surprised at all if we see it announced at BlizzCon this year. Either way, let's look at the video for today, and that is a video made by Addon. If I can pop up right here, there we go, Addon. Go and show him some love. The link to his channel should be in the pinned comment, so go and check it out if you haven't already, and well, if you haven't, we're going to check it out together. And if you want to see the entire video made by him without me commenting over it, then once again the channel is right here and will be linked down below. On this video though, I'll be adding my own comments on top, so it might be a little bit disruptive, but here we go boys.
Leaks are beloved by players, abhorred by developers, and abused by randoms looking for 5 minutes of fame. In almost all cases, leaks are false, and most of them are just fan fiction of what people want to happen, not what's actually coming. But even if they are false, people love to run with it, making videos, articles, and more about the what
I might be guilty on that.
if it's real, and I can't blame them because I let my head run wild with speculation as well. But as BlizzCon 2023 approaches and Classic Plus and the future retail is on the line, the leaks are getting more numerous and more outlandish. There are already dozens of Reddit and
I was hoping to pause a little bit earlier, but WoW leaks for 11.0, let's get started. Summary of what I know. First off, the pirate stuff is just because the pirate day is coming this month. 6 new zones, one of them is Uldas. Dwarves and their city plus outpost launches with 1 raid, and they want to do player housing but don't think it's time. Huh. Okay, just a small recap here, but if you want to read the entire thing, just pause the video. WoW leaks for 11.0. My favorite one though is the Awakenings leak. That one I think is going to be the closest to what we end up getting at BlizzCon, but we'll see what ends up happening. But I do think, yeah, the Awakenings leak. I made a video on this, I think about 3 weeks ago on the Awakenings leak, and that's like looking the most likely out of all of the ones that I've seen so far.
MMO champion, 4chan, X, formerly known as Twitter,
that was the one.
and Discord threads all leaking across the internet. And honestly, if this many people knew what was coming, I'm sure someone would have made a leak that was more credible than a vaguely accurate sounding 4chan thread. But before we dive into the leaks, let's clear the elephant in the room, and that's Chris Metzen returning. We all know that this signifies a return to a more Metzen-esque dramatic storytelling, and I'm all for it, because a little more green Jesus never hurt anyone. And thus, the leaks, of which there are quite a lot. Honestly, if you go looking for it, you're going to find a lot of them. But we're looking at the trending leaks and whether there is any truth to them. So first off, we have Awakening.
There we go, that's the leak I made a video on, so a real quick recap is right here on the screen. But it's the first Classic Plus expansion, costs $50. The whole idea is a what if the Dark Portal didn't open after vanilla, which I think is what a lot of people classify Classic Plus to be. Like, not opening the Dark Portal, adding brand new content to Classic WoW instead, opening brand new zones, adding new items, new dungeons, new quests, all of that stuff. Chris Metzen is the main head behind the project, and this one I think is what gives this leak credibility, because this leak came out before Blizzard announced that Chris Metzen was back and working on that project. Will reuse assets from BC/Wrath/Kata to maintain the visual aspect of the classic era, makes sense. New models will look like the reawakened Face Hunter mount. I don't understand what that means, because that's just a lizard mount from TBC. Level cap is level 70, I don't know. Okay, let me ask you guys, in Classic Plus, would you want to see a level cap increase to level 70, or keep level 60? I think personally I would love to see like keeping level 60, because that makes all the content worth doing. If you add a brand new level cap like level 70, then suddenly you invalidate raids like Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, AQ, Set G, Noxramis. You invalidate all of those because now people are going to level up to level 70, do level 70 dungeons, then do level 70 raids. But by keeping the level cap level 60, then people are still going to do all of the content that is currently in the game. They're going to farm BRD for Prebus, Stratholm, do level 60 raids. All the things we currently have in the game are just as valuable, just adding more stuff. Without new continents, Hydrol and Emerald Dream will be the new zones, makes sense. The idea is to finish off the various vanilla questlines that were lost in time with the arrival of the Burning Crusade, absolutely perfect. High Elves and Ogres are the new races respectively for the Alliance and the Horde. Interesting. The first raid here will be against the Scourge. Didn't we fight against the Scourge in Noxramus? Either way, good. Cataclysm Classic will happen after Wrath. That one's kind of a given if you ask me, but perfect. You can consider me a LARPer, see you on November 3rd. Alright.
That as many people were discussing and actually considering it due to one fact. It was publicly posted before Chris Metzen announced his return. So it gave some more credibility and as many people considering this to be a legitimate leak, especially because it's also a grounded leak. Nothing extreme, obnoxious, stupid.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there.
Just valid
No way, dude. No way.
things that you could see Blizzard doing. It's the first Classic Plus expansion, worth about $50, making it cheaper than a regular expansion. Chris Metzen is the head of the project, which later turned out to be true as he is now the executive creative director of all of World of Warcraft. The thing though that trips me up and has been cause for concern for many others is the reuse of assets from TBC, Wrath and Cataclysm, mainly because those assets were designed for their respective expansions and Cataclysm essentially redid all the models, so it'd be jarring to have them in Classic Plus. Plus, this is a terrible idea as Blizzard has the technology and ability to make low-res, low-polygon textures and assets. It's art at the end of the day, and it's not something advanced or extremely difficult to do. Look at old-school RuneScape. The level cap being 70 makes sense as they're adding new content.
I don't know about that. It makes sense, but I don't think it's what people want. I don't know.
New items, a new meta essentially. It would be strange to have an expansion that's the same level, especially if we don't get new talent or whatever this new direction would take us. The High Elves and Ogres are pretty massively copium as players have wanted them for essentially 2 decades, and if Classic Plus players get them before retail, I can imagine the rioting that'll occur. The rest of the idea
I think that would be fantastic, by the way. If people want High Elves and Ogres as playable races for so long, and Classic players get them first, that would be amazing. Please make it happen.
ideas are good, but I'm not sure how much of this is going to be legit. I feel like if this leak is real, it's from an employee who may have been on the team when it was in pre-production, so they're out of touch of what's actually coming. I'm giving this leak a solid 7 out of 10, only because Awakening has been leaked for the last 4 years, maybe even longer, and because every couple leaks has had Chris Metzen returning for far longer than 4 years. Whilst there have been other Classic Plus leaks, most of them have been pure unadulterated fan fiction, so I'm not really going to dive into them, but I'll dive into the ideas and themes behind those said leaks, such as going into Hyjal, a new zone in Gilneas, Borealis being added, I finished Karazhan, the mysterious portal in Winterspring which probably
do not add Borealis, please. Like everything else, Hyjal, perfect. Gilneas, perfect. High Elves, good. Borealis? You good, bro?
leads to Hyjal, the Emerald Dream, Grimbatol, Baal Modan, Ajara Crater, and more. A lot of leaks simply talk about Classic Plus as a finished vanilla, a world in which vanilla launched with all the content it had planned but had to scrap due to timelines and deliverables. Now, that is the ideal version of Classic Plus, a simple game that continues the classic approach and finishes Classic itself whilst fixing what's wrong with the game. And fuck off with the no changes shit. This is Classic Plus. We want all the goddamn changes.
We want all the changes, baby. You just have to make sure it's changes people are happy with, like class balancing, new quests, new content, new dungeons, new zones, new items, reimagined items, maybe even like make some actual item balancing as well. I don't know, just do all of the stuff. Make it a brand new, unexplored game that hasn't been solved, because one of the problems with Classic WoW is that it's been solved so much, and even if not everything was solved before 2019, now, like, we've solved so much of the game. We're struggling, like, people are putting in thousands of hours to minimalize their leveling time by, like, less than 1%. I want a game that is fun to play and less solved. Right now, everything is like, we know almost everything. That's a problem.
Basically, Classic Plus seems like the expansion after Cataclysm has run its course, with Classic Plus being in development right now but not ready for launch. We already know that Cataclysm Classic is coming, and I'd be genuinely surprised if Blizzard didn't do it. Heck, look at some BlizzCon 2021 official art. If that Deathwing over there is meant to represent Heroes of the Storm, I'll eat a sock, especially since Heroes of the Storm is scrapped. But Classic Plus will very likely be announced at the same time, so we can get hyped and prepare for Classic Plus whilst they bolster Cataclysm Classic's player numbers. But what if Classic Plus isn't enough for your leaking needs, and what if you just don't care about Classic Plus? Well then, here's the upcoming critically acclaimed Arcane Season 2 Warcraft Chronicles. The animated special made by, I think, the same people who made Edge Runners, I'm not sure honestly, with some night off looking shoulder pads, could be a great way to introduce the lore to the masses the same way Arcane did for League of Legends. What's that? Classic Plus and WoW anime isn't enough for you? Don't worry your pretty little head one little bit, as they aren't the only thing being overwhelmed by leaks. Retail WoW has even more leaks than Classic Plus. We currently have 3 major leaks, such as WoW, A Pirate's Life for Me, which a lot of people covered already, and Adventure to the Other Side of Azeroth, where we discover some ancient lore and history. It sounds like a cool idea, and the other side of Azeroth is something Blizzard will eventually use.
As someone who just watched the One Piece remake on Netflix, I wouldn't mind a really well-made pirate theme expansion, but at the same time, I don't want that to be the way, like retail goes. At this point, I want to see a light versus dark or even void expansion, and look at the void lords, for example, some of the pantheons, or the seat of the pantheons, and finally do some stuff with like the old gods, or the titans. Try to finish off the retail storyline so we can get a WoW 2 going eventually. Instead of taking all of these detours, like BFA was a massive detour, Shadowlands was a detour, even Dragonflight. At least we're returning to Azeroth now, but it's like kind of a detour-ish, I don't know.
Even if not now. The next leak is the Forgotten Dwarves of Kaz Algar, a dwarf, earthen, or elemental themed expansion, which we learned thanks to someone data mining on Reddit, which was then covered on Wowhead. We know that this has some basis of truth, as the Heroic Edition mount reward for the next expansion is quite literally called the Algarian Storm Rider, which is quite literally a griffin of some kind. There is also lore in-game which talks about Kaz Algar, but only minimally. I could be wrong, but hey, if the shoe fits, you know what I mean? And the final leak is a continuation of the Wowhead data mining and is essentially called Stormbreak, which I think is based off WoW Eclipse, a separate leak. But nonetheless, it's about returning to Azeroth and the whole place changing slowly but surely without intervention and questing, as well as new mechanics and systems. As you can see with Stormbreak and the MMO champion warriors debating this entire thing back and forth and trying to prove if these screenshots are real or fake. Whilst I don't know if this is real or not, it looks legitimate, looks high in quality, and seems to be almost an homage to vanilla, which makes sense for 11.0, an essential soft reboot of World of Warcraft. And the leaks for Stormbreak themselves clearly have the same vibe and feeling that the Dragonflight leaks had, so hey, never say never. So with all these leaks, all these images, these what ifs, this overwhelming hope that we, in Gordon Ramsay's words,
finally, some good fucking food.
I personally believe that these leaks are all mostly false, not counting the data mining from Wowhead. Not because they have overwhelming evidence against them, but because these all seem to be in vain with what Blizzard has already planned. Nothing here is unique, outlandish, etc. It seems to be people guessing in the ballpark of something that Blizzard would actually already do. Dwarves and their shenanigans are kind of expected for retail, all because of the Algarian Storm Rider leak. And Classic Plus could be literally any of the 100+ unfinished content portions from vanilla. So even if parts of these leaks are true, they were lucky guesses in my opinion, and I do think that they are off. How off, I don't know. Ignoring the leaks, what do you want for the future of WoW? Let me know in the comments.
I want 1 or 2 more expansions for retail and then head into WoW 2 instead. Basically a hard reboot of the game itself, but we need at least 2 expansions, maybe 3, to finish off the entire storyline and then get WoW 2. Or something like that. Maybe we don't save Azeroth and we get sent to a different planet and we start over again, just something gets us to WoW 2 with a hard reboot, massive updates, graphical updates, massive updates to the game itself, but like, just a reboot of the game. And I also want Classic Plus, obviously. Speaking of the leaks though, I feel the same way as Ebonheart. It's like, it's fanfiction, but it's based on a somewhat area of truth, because we have some data mining, we have some like articles to go out from, but it's all kind of like fanfiction or people guessing based on what we know so far. So none of the leaks Well, I guess we'll see at BlizzCon, but as of now, I'm always going into these leaks thinking they are fake, and it's just made by someone who's taken the information we have so far and then made a guess based on that information. Either way, go and show Ebonheart some love once again, pinned comment down below. Really good video, really enjoyed it, added my comments too. It's been a 15-minute video so far. If you enjoyed, please give a like down below, subscribe for more content as always, and yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace out, boys.